test was awesome because it reaffirmed some of the things we had already learned. And the first question they gave us was a ladder leaning against a wall. And it was just a really nice coincidence that this ladder formed a 30-degree angle with the wall because it made a 60-degree angle with the ground. So we know this is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle here, right?
Yeah.
And we know wonderful things about a 30, 60, 90. We know that the hypotenuse is always twice the short leg. So if the ladder has a length of 10, the distance of the ladder from the building would be 5. Was this 10 feet? So that would be 5 feet. So the base of the ladder is 5 feet away from the ground. So the height that the ladder reaches up the building would be 5 times the square root of 3 feet. All right, so 5 root 3 feet is the exact answer. But honestly, if we're talking about measurement, that probably doesn't mean a whole lot to us. So 5 times the square root of 3, when we change that to a decimal, is 8.66. And 8.66, to figure out feet and inches, this is 8 feet, and we would subtract the 8 on our calculator. Be left with a 0.66 multiplied times 12 to get this into inches is 8 feet, 8 inches, which is the same as 104 inches. So these were the two answers they were looking for from you guys. Those two right there. 5 root 3 feet, or 8 feet, 8 inches, or you could have given 104 inches. Stosser, how'd you do on that one?
I actually got it right.
Awesome.
Actually.
Okay, number 2. Kyle, I'll call on you in just a second.
Oh, yes.
Okay, on this next problem, we have a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. So Kyle, if one leg of this 45, 45, 90 is 35.6 feet, what is the other leg?
35.6 feet.
And why do we know that?
Because 45, 45, 90 triangle, the two legs are exactly the same.
Very good.
And they're, yeah.
Yes. So, how tall is the tree? Well, we know, because it forms a 45, 45, 90 right triangle, that the height of the tree would have to be equal to this distance on the ground here. So what is tangent of 45 degrees? Well, according to this problem, it's 36.5 divided by 35.6 divided by 35.6, which is 1. But tangent of any triangle, tangent of 45 on any triangle, will always simplify to 1, because it's a number divided by itself every time. So tangent of 45 is 1, no matter what. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right, next problem. Okay, so you're a main character in a play, and they have the spotlight on you, so you're probably sweating a little bit. You need a little makeup on so the face doesn't look rough. So here we go. We want to know how far you actually are away from this spotlight is what the question asks. So which trig function would this be? Cosine. So cosine of 20 degrees gives us the ratio of 10 over x. And so to solve, we'd multiply by x to get out of the bottom, and then we divide by cosine of 20. So this is our exact answer. It is approximately 10.64 feet.
Oh my god, I got it right.
Okay, so that was one of the questions they asked. The second question they ask is, if this went from 20 degrees to 32 degrees, how much further are you from the light? So now we're doing cosine of 32 degrees is equal to 10 divided by x. So x equals 10 divided by cosine of 32. So this time x is approximately 11.79. So we do 11.79 minus the 10.64. And this gives us that you're an additional 1.15 feet away from the light.
Oh my gosh, it looks like they're a lot farther away than that.
Okay. All right. Now this last one, it's talking about a forest ranger being up in a fire lookout tower. I see these down in South Georgia. We don't see as many of them around here, do we?
No.
Have you guys ever seen these?
Yes, I saw one in St. Simon's Island.
No. Okay. Okay. They put them in places that aren't quite as hilly as where we are, because it would make more sense. If you put these down in South Georgia where it's very flat, you can see great distance up from the tower. If we put a tower around here, you'd see to the next hill, and that'd be about it. So you can't see very far. They're not as useful. All right. But what it's talking about, what they were stressing the point of, is the angle of elevation is the angle going up from the ground here versus the angle of depression, which is the angle going down. And so if we look at this, the angle going up from the horizontal, the angle coming down from a horizontal, these two horizontals would be parallel, wouldn't they? So two parallel lines cut by a transversal, what do we know? Alternate interior angles are congruent. And that's the answer to part A. If we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, is that what you guys wrote? Or something similar? Okay, then alternate, it just needs a comma, not a semi. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay, so B. All right, so we got this nice little ranger who's hanging out up here, and he's actually looking out instead of playing on his phone, and he sees some smoke from a campfire, and he can't figure out how far it is, but he can measure the angle of depression is 12 degrees. So we're supposed to help him out and figure out how far away this little fire is located. So he's 214.7 feet up in the air, and we want to know this distance here on that green line down at there at the bottom. What do we do? Tangent. So we're going to do tangent of 12 degrees is equal to opposite, which in this case is the 214.7 feet. Put the decimal in the wrong place. Oops. Divided by x. So x equals 214.7 divided by tangent of 12. And so x is approximately, actually not very far, is it? 1,010.08 feet. That's like 3 football fields, right?
That's a pretty solid distance.
Really?
I wouldn't want to run 1,000 feet.
Okay, how many feet is a mile?
It's about 1/5 of a mile.
5,280. It's like a fifth of a mile. It's not even one time around our track.
That's pretty easy, actually.
So, I mean, you could almost drag a hose that far.
I mean, I just choose not.
All right. Okay, the next question, number 5, is about an airplane. We know the distance from the plane to the airport. We know the distance the plane is flying above the ground. What is the distance on the ground from the airport to where directly below the plane? 750, and we could do that using Pythagorean theorem, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now, here's a key point, guys, and I want you to be very clear on this, because this is very simple, and I don't want you to miss it. This says, what is sine of the angle? Did they ask for the angle measurement? No, they asked for the ratio. They ask for sine of theta. So all we have to do is come up with a ratio. So here's our angle of elevation right here. They even marked it for us, nice. And so it would be opposite over hypotenuse, which would give us 400 over 850. And as soon as we simplify that fraction, we are done. My answer is 8/17.
I got that.
Sine of theta is 8/17. Cosine of theta. Cosine of theta is adjacent 750 over hypotenuse 850. So cosine of theta is 15/17. That is it. End of story. That's all we do. It didn't ask for theta. It asked for cosine of theta. Yes, sir.
I worked out the bottom part, like I didn't do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I worked out sine of 400 and like the 850, and then I plugged the angle. Never mind. I just worked it out in a completely different way, but I still got the same. I don't know how I'm doing that.
You found this angle using sine, and then use that to find this.
Yeah. Is that
Okay.
like
Anytime they give me 2 of the sides, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem to find the third. But you can use trig. Okay, now, the next page. Now it says, find the angle. So what we would have to do, on your calculators, you'd press sine twice, is what we would do on our calculators. On any other calculator, you'd hit second sine. Because if we have this equation, sine of theta equals 8/17, and we want to solve for theta, we have to undo this sine part. We're going to use the inverse of sine. Inverse sine of 8/17, and we get theta is approximately 28.07 degrees. And so here we do it with cosine. So we get theta equals cosine of 15/17. inverse cosine of 15/17. And that is 28.07 degrees. And here we do theta equals inverse tan of 8/15, which is approximately 28.07 degrees. Well, why did we get the same answer every time?
Because the angle's never going to change.
Right. The measure of the angle didn't change. We were finding the measure of the same angle. It's 3 ways to solve one problem, right? It's 3 different ways to find one same angle measurement. Okay, so you had to say something like that. Did you say something like that? I wrote on mine, it's the same angle. We better get the same answer because we are only looking at one angle.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was that? We've answered it 3 times already, but here we go. We'll write it a 4th. 28.07. Okay, number 6. We have the top of a billboard that is 40 feet off the ground. There's my billboard. We'll call it 40 feet. What is the angle elevation if the billboard cast a 30-foot shadow from the sunshine? There's your sun and shadow onto the ground here. So what is the angle here? What is that angle? So which trig ratio are we using? Sine, cosine, tangent? Tangent. Tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So inverse tan of 4/3 is approximately equal to 53.13 degrees.
Yeah.
All right, how are you doing? How are you doing? Donna, good?
Because you're in the 18
Okay.
group, man.
We doing good, Jordan? Okay. Rollin, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Doing good? Andrew? All right. Evan?
Good.
Yuki? Good? Simon?
Good.
All right.
We're the 8 so sure.
Okay, so 7 and 8 were your only real challenging problems, weren't they? And 7 wasn't really hard if you thought, ooh, if I can draw down a perpendicular there, why can't I do one right here? Whoops, let me try again.
I thought that.
And so I drew one in right there and made it a right angle right there. So if the whole angle was 118 and I took 90 of it away, what's left right in there? 28 degrees. So I'm going to blow this up over here so we can see it. And I called this in here 28 degrees. And this was 18. And what is this? Gotta solve for it. So which trig ratio am I looking at if here's my angle?
I did tan of 28.
Okay, so tangent of 28 is equal to x over 18. So x, when we solve, was approximately 9.57. But we have 2 of those. We have one over here and we have one over there. So what would we do with that? Double it, add them together, and so we get 19.14 inches is how much longer, wider, whatever, the top of the trough is than the bottom.
I added back to 30, got 40.
That's only got one.
I didn't follow the directions.
Yeah, well maybe you follow.
Yeah, you answered your own question.
Supposed to do
You were thinking,
Miss Wilby knows I got that one right.
You weren't. The
Yep.
answer was 19.14. You added 30.
okay. Well, it asks you how much wider is the opening than the base. So all we care about is this side together with this side because this is the same length as the base. So those kind of cancel each other out. Does that make sense? Okay. All right.
I think the answer was 13.
Now, here's a sailboat and a lighthouse. So we have this guy up in the lighthouse, it says, and it says the angle of elevation down to the sailboat is 6 degrees. So if that was anything close to a horizontal line, this would look better. All right, so this is 6 degrees. So what do we know about this down here? It is also 6. So here we have a nice big picture. And I'm going to come sit in one of those seats so I can look straight on it and maybe draw a little better. Thank you. Whoops, let me bring my answers with me. Okay, so how many triangles do you see?
Two.
I see.
I see
one,
three.
I see
two,
three.
4, 5, 6.
Ooh, wow, there are a lot. These don't
7.
count.
I see
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
3, 5.
Okay.
Six.
Willoughby,
So,
I see 4. Yep, about 4. Yep.
Okay, this class is amazing. There are lots of triangles. There are 2 that matter for this problem. There's this big one right here
5.
that matters for this problem.
There's 5. Eat it.
Okay, okay. Kyle.
You what?
Not appropriate. Alright, so we got a big green one. And so let's draw that. Got the big green one. Alright, and then let's draw in the other one that matters for this problem. This little orange one right here. Y'all see that one?
I see
Really
it.
good.
Okay, so those are the 2 that matter for this problem.
I tried.
Okay, so we're going to draw an orange one, and I'll color it orange real quick. There's orange. Alright, so an orange one, and it looks like much smaller, like that. There we go. Okay, but this, for the green and the orange, are the same, right? So if I called this y over here, what would it be over here?
Why?
Y. Alright, now it tells us in the reading that this distance from the here to here is how much? 50. Well, isn't that this distance?
Yes.
Okay, it also tells us that this height is 84. So if I did all the way down, all the way from here to here, which is this side of the green one, it would be the 84 and the 50, which is
134.
134. Then, just a minute ago, we said that this is 6 degrees, this angle of depression, so this would be 6 degrees here on the big triangle, 6 degrees. So the first thing it asks us for is this, the distance from the little fella in the lighthouse down to the sailboat. We'll call that x. Yes.
Why is there a degree mark?
Oh, because I don't know. Thank you. Okay, so this is 6 degrees, this is 34, this is x, this is sine. Sine of 6 degrees is equal to 134 over x. So we solve and we get x equals 134 divided by sine of 6 degrees. So we get x is approximately, whoops,
No, dang it.
1281.95.
Yeah, that one really confused me because I didn't see this. I didn't see the bottom triangle. My eyes just didn't focus on
My
it.
It's
problem
okay.
is I didn't add 84 and 50.
Alright,
Fatal mistake.
Yep.
Ruined the entire thing.
this is a tricky problem.
I didn't get it.
I'll give you
I
tricky.
didn't even work on it.
I did too.
Okay.
I didn't get the 6
Alright.
not.
So now let's find y, because y is on both triangles and that might be helpful. So this was the answer to part A right here. So before we can start part B, which is this angle of elevation here, we've got to find y, or we can't find it. So we're going to stick with this triangle because we got enough stuff on here, and we'll say tangent of 6 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent. So y is equal to 134 divided by tangent of 6 degrees, and that is approximately 1,274.92 feet. So we know that this is approximately 1,074.92 feet. So now we can find this angle theta, and we'll say tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So inverse tan is what we use to solve for an angle. We use the inverse trig function. And so we get theta is approximately 2 degrees.
I got that right still.
Cool.
So I only missed 8
That-
the entire thing.
And that's B.
Is that pretty good?
That is pretty good. Okay, questions about that?
That drawing is extremely out of scale.
My drawing?
Yeah, the little lighthouse and the
Yes.
space.
Yes. I mean, that's a pretty good drawing.
Oh, it's a good drawing.
But
It's just
it is
really
not
out
to
of
scale.
scale.
Okay, workbooks to page 219. Guys, workbooks to page 219. If you don't have your workbook, you follow along on the screen.
No, actually, not. Sorry, it's basically like dropping everything.
for those, or can we just follow along?
So, take your stuff.
Are we gonna do the rest of this package sometime soon?
Your homework is out of the pocket. Okay, let's move on, guys. Some of y'all are moving too slow. You're gonna get left behind. All right, angle number 1 right here. Is that angle of elevation or angle of depression? Elevation is going up. Now, angle 1 is congruent to what angle there?
2. No. 4. No. 3. 3. No. 3.
It is congruent to angle 3. Okay. Number 2, elevation or depression? Depression. What is angle 2 congruent to?
4.
4.
I got that one on the first one.
Okay, angle 3, elevation or depression? Depression. What's it congruent to? 1. We've already done it. See? 1 is congruent to 3, so 3 is congruent to 1. All right, angle 4.
Angle, or,
Elevation.
elevation, and it's depression. Or, alright, 2, number 8, 2.
Okay.
I knew what I was saying in my head.
Okay.
I did.
All right. So, to attract customers at this car dealership, Frank tethers a large red balloon to the ground. Because you know, when I'm shopping for cars, I don't look for the best buy. I drive around and see which dealership has a large red balloon.
You see him.
All right. So, here we go. Frank has this large red balloon. He's hoping to get more customers. The sun is directly overhead. The shadow of the balloon is 14 feet from the tether. Frank sights the angle of elevation to be 67 degrees. Okay, so this is our tether right here. This is the height that the balloon is from the ground. And we got some shadow going on. All right, so find the height of the balloon. This is what we want for number 5, excuse me, x. So can you solve for x? What would you change 14 feet 6 inches to?
174
14.5.
14. I would change it to 14.5,
My God. I said 8.
or you could change it to inches.
But you changed it to 1.4.5.
Did you already change it to inches? How many?
174.
Okay, so I'd say it's 14.5 feet or 174 inches. You go either way. Okay, please try number 5.
I need my calculator.
Oh no. I'm gonna open back up the CPS so it can randomly select a student that I will let answer the question.
Oh,
Oh, I love it.
that's not me.
No, mine. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
Jinx, you already said
Jinx, you owe me a
Uh-oh.
Oh, no,
Lots
I
of
said-
problems.
You're richer than me.
it. We live on the same street.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. You're richer than me. You have a professional lawnmower. My lawnmower is not professional.
All right.
You have a nice lawnmower. Use.
All right. Ryan, you're in the hot seat.
Evan will help me.
Yeah, but these shorts are sweet.
Alright. The sun is directly overhead, the shadow of the balloon.
Do what I want.
All right, Ryan, you want to talk me through it? Which trig ratio are we going to use if we've got this side, and this angle?
Opposite over Jason Ryan Sokatoa.
So, oh, tangent.
Tangent. So we're going to say tangent of 67 is equal to opposite over adjacent.
So that's
Okay, so now you ought to be good, Ryan. What do we do?
Then you multiply tan of 67 times 14.5.
Okay, please do that.
See, Ryan, you don't have
Oh,
to do this.
congrats,
I
Ryan.
have the answer
Very
very much.
much. Tan of 67 equals times. I got 34 points.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so you got 34 points and stuff. So subtract out the 34 and then multiply the point stuff by 12 and you can change it to inches.
If you wanted to do that.
Please do so. I'd like you to do that.
You're number 3 on mine, that's why.
So subtract off on your calculator the 34.
Can I just do it by inches?
What do you do?
Or
2 inches.
I got it.
It's 2 inches.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if y'all get like, what was it, 34.1?
Or 410 inches.
One something?
It's
I got
15985.
Okay.
I know she chose
So
you.
all you have to do is subtract off the 34
My dyslexia is showing.
and then multiply times 12.
Jerk.
3.1.
Okay, Kyle, I'm gonna need to have you read if you can add something positive to what you have. Okay,
Ryan, you did a good job answering that question.
thank you. That's better. All right,
I was just giving him karma.
all right. Let's see who it randomly calls on for the next one.
Yes.
Shannon. Shannon.
I think anxious would be easier.
Okay.
Nothing on that.
All right. Find the length of the cord. So now we want y, don't we, Shannon? Right here. So we don't want x, we want y. So this is which side? The 14.5. Adjacent, and y is the hypotenuse. So adjacent, hypotenuse.
This is not right.
Which one is that? Cosine. Good. So cosine.
7.11.
Of 67 equals 14.6 or 14.5 over y.
What if we did Pythagorean?
Oh my god, I know the
What's
answer.
that square?
So we already went over this.
You know?
Trigonometry is
So you
exact.
divide
I know, but it's
14
very
divided
high.
by
Yeah, we got the
cosine of 67.
Oh,
I don't care what the tomato looks like. I care what
The other question, he did trig and enter Pythagorean theorem. Our answer is just slightly different.
That's because his is more exact, and you compounded your error and you rounded.
Oh, what was the error that I compounded?
We rounded right here,
Oh.
so whenever you round, if you use that rounded number a second time, you're compounding your error. Okay, so, I got 37.
37.1.
Okay, 37.11, which will give us 37 feet, 1 inch. Nice job.
I got that.
Okay. All right, let's see.
I'm probably going to get it now.
Wait. She just went. We'll go again. All right. Feel me? We're going to skip number 7.
Where's my water?
And we're going to do number 8 next. Number 8. Okay, so here we have a new problem. And Lindsay is 9.2 meters up. And the angle of depression from Lindsay to Pete is 79. So if this is 79, this is also 79.
Alternate interior angles.
Okay,
So this
so we're
is a
supposed to
class
find the
11
distance
triangle.
from Pete to the base of the building. All right, Tafumi, which trig ratio am I using? We've got 9.2 right here, same thing, 9.2, and we want this, and here's our angle.
I know.
Tangent. Okay, so tangent of theta, tangent of 79 is equal to opposite over adjacent. Let's see who's going to answer this question for me.
You already chose two
Miles,
points.
for sure.
You already chose two points.
How about that?
Okay, Miles, you're just going to give me a decimal number.
Uh-oh.
Just a decimal number, Miles. That's all I'm looking for.
That's all.
You don't have to change it to feet and inches because it's meters. Number 9. Number 8. Number 8.
'cause it wasn't exactly 7.
You get that?
Did I? Don't do that. We got it.
Yeah. Anywhere. 1.78298. But evidently,
You have to do that first. You have to push that button twice. Okay. All right, Miles, what'd you get? 1.79. 1.79 is going to give us 1.8 meters. Is that what you got, Kyle?
Yes, ma'am.
I got
Alright, Evan?
1.788.
Number 9, you know the answer.
This will be, I'll just go down
Wait,
here.
you're on?
I did tangent
That's not what you
times
got.
9.2 times tangent
The answer
11.
for me
And I
would
got
be
the same thing.
4.3 because we walked out to the street farther.
Okay. I like what you're saying. He said this is 11 if this is 79. 79.
Oh.
So you can look at it the same way, and you could work this problem. Tangent of 11 is equal to x over 9.2. And then you don't have to divide.
Amen.
I like it.
That boy, Matt.
Okay.
I quit.
Number 9. Let's see who's going to help me set up number 9.
Oh.
Michaela.
Oh, thank God.
It's so close. If you wanted to be you, then it'll be you. That's why I want it to be me.
All right, so we're trying to see
But really,
Lindsay better. So he's walking further out. So he's backing up, backing up. So this distance is now 4.3 meters. And find the angle. All right, Lindsay. How do I set this problem up? What is this? The angle of depression is no longer 78. Let's white it out. Let's make it go away. That's 79. It's not 79 anymore. What is it?
Is it
How do? Tangent.
negative 1? And then 9.2 over 4.3.
We have a winner. She not only she went ahead and solved it for me. She told me that I had to use inverse tan. Nice job, Lindsay. And let's see who's going to give me that algebraic did I say Lindsay?
Give it to
Oh, Lindsay is here. Michaela, I'm really sorry. You have become your character you're playing. Okay.
I got 64 points.
Yes.
All
All
right.
these.
Spencer, what's the answer? Approximately?
64.95.
Okay, so that would round to 65 degrees. Okay, let's read the last little thing, and Jacqueline. All right, Mr. Shea lives in Lindsay's building. He's still out in the street. So we know right now this angle right here is 65 degrees. This angle right here is 65 degrees. So, if Mr. Shea is 72 degrees, 72 would be a little bit bigger, wouldn't it? Would that put Mr. Shea up here?
Yes.
Poor Mr. Shea. Did Lindsay throw her voice?
Dude, Mr. Shea's.
Or would that put him down here?
Up top.
Jacqueline's answering this.
Oh, sorry.
Jacqueline, what do you think? Higher or lower? If higher, there's Mr. Shea. Ding, 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 we have a winner.
Good job,
Mr.
Jacqueline.
Shea.
I wonder if his name's doing has anything to do with the problem, like he's pretty quiet.
Oh,
No,
it could
it's
be.
not
It could be. Okay, so that was fun. We'll have to play the Let It Pick People game again.
Me.
Don't y'all enjoy that? Alright, so your homework
Give it back.
is in the packet you received yesterday. It's the worksheet that says day 8. And you're doing numbers 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, and 12 through 14. Now, you may be asking yourself why I don't assign them all. That gives you additional ones to choose from to practice for your test.
which is next.
Test is Tuesday.
Wait, no, that's April Fool's.
But it's not an April Fool's Day joke. It's reality.
You promise?